Hello, everyone. Welcome to Community CPA's 3 p.m. webinar. My name is Catherine Tran, and I work with Community CPA and Ying Sa to bring the community news and resources. So thank you for joining us today. Our Thursdays are always our special day. We have our guests joining us. So today is the topic of small business resources. So we'll talk about the Financial Empowerment Center, what they're seeing on small businesses, and some services that small business can access. So welcome, Anna. Welcome, Curtis. Thank you so much for your time and for being here today. Always a pleasure. So Anna and Curtis, I want to welcome you again. Thank you for being here. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role at FEC, at the Financial Empowerment Center?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for inviting us and having us on. We are incredibly excited to be here and to share about these resources. So my name is Anna Pena, and I'm the site coordinator at the Financial Empowerment Center. And so I get to work with an amazing team that supports small businesses, provides business coaching, all sorts of resources, which we'll dig into. And also I oversee a team of personal financial coaches. I've been in this role just 4 months, and I'm excited to be able to share about our programs and services with everyone today.
Wonderful. Thank you and welcome, Anna. And then Curtis, I know you are both at the Evelyn K. Davis Center and Financial Empowerment Center, correct?
Yes, that is where our offices are located, and Anna is our leader. So I want to make sure I get that clear first so that everybody understands. My job is job coach. So I am, or not job coach, sorry, business coach. We do have job coaches. We have everything, but I am the small business coach. My title is Director of Asset Development, but what that really means is that I'm going to work with your business and help you grow it, help you deal with whatever issues you have. And yes, we are located within the Evelyn K. Davis Center. So I think we have our information at the end so that you can find us.
Wonderful. So what are some of the biggest challenges right now that our small business communities are facing, especially those who come to FEC needing support?
Well, I would say that, our services are being used more because of the pandemic, maybe, but I think they were growing prior to that. If we drill down and look at exactly what businesses are looking for, it is basically, Catherine, what you guys bring to the table. So accounting is probably the #1 issue. I know Ying, donates her time, volunteers to help us, in our classes and whenever else she can. But right now, that seems to be the most popular question that I get.
Yeah, that makes sense. Particularly with the pandemic, I know that there's a lot of, applications and loans that businesses are often applying to, which does, of course, require the financial piece to be tight. So, yeah. So, can you tell us a bit about yourself, why you do the work that you do, and talk about your experience in small business development?
Okay, I'll try not to make this too long.
Okay.
As a business owner, I've owned businesses for 25 plus years now. And I've served 4 different governors at different levels, serving on different boards related to business, trying to help small business get what they need from the state of Iowa. Let's see, as far as, I'm a Central College graduate a long time ago for some of you, and have been doing this job for the last 3 years. And Anna can verify it, but it has grown, the small business has grown, how do you say that, exponentially? Yeah, it has, mainly because we have a lot of resources, so between Community CPA, the attorneys, I will equate Chip Lowe, but lots of other areas besides those. So, businesses have a need. So we've been busy. I don't know if I covered everything in the question, but Anna can clean it up.
Yes. And what was your position before taking on this role?
Absolutely. So prior to coming to this role, I was at Simpson College for 5 years in the role of Director of Community Engagement and New Students. So working with community organizations, partnership, nonprofit organizations to establish and grow partnerships and programs for volunteers and student volunteers. Also worked with all new student orientation, registration, all of that good stuff as well. The work that we do is really important to us as we look, currently at economic recovery in a broad perspective, but also as we look at individual economic recovery. So the growth of small businesses, we're seeing that it pivot tremendously during the pandemic because of change of employment status, different opportunities, some new opportunities that have presented themselves because of the pandemic. And it's been really tremendous to be able to support small businesses in so many different areas and the individuals that are running the business. And I think that has been, it comes back to the key point for all the work that we do is helping individual economies, so family economies, individual economies, and their own financial health and wellness and future, and how it all connects with our personal financial services, our business services. So we look at that individual level, wellness, employment, business growth. We look at then how it impacts the community. So important to us as we are making the impact in the community of the business growth and having employees and growing their business, as it's important to the foundation of our communities that we're in.
Yeah, that's very well said. I love that the focus is on building up the families and partnering with businesses in order to do that. So can you tell us a bit about some of the services that FEC offers for small business development, and what are some things that make you guys stand out?
Well, I think the most notable one is our Master's Business Boot Camp, which obviously it's a 6-week, 6 Mondays for 2 to 3 hours, and it's really a broad view of how to operate your business. So so it's kind of, I don't know, it's unique as much as it's very informative. So from that raises a lot of questions where I'm meeting with the individual businesses one-on-one. So, a big part of what we do is having that dedicated time to sit down and really dig a little deeper into what their needs are, because every business is at a different level when they come. So they could be starting out, or they, some have been around 20 plus years, and they all have a different, they're coming at a different time with a different need. So, and as far as services, we're kind of like a business center, but we're going to use our, what do we call them? Our partners are, in the community, whether it be legal, accounting, whatever the need is, from entrepreneurship to, so we are going to utilize those, because we're not saying we're the experts on, on everything, but we're going to get them to the right people, which is really, kind of nice. So if you, we're going to try and, I hate to say this, but we're going to meet you where you are and try and go the rest of the way. So, so it's really wide open who can come and what services we provide. I think the list would be pretty long if we started rattling it off, but the main thing is that whether you're trying to get your tax ID numbers or whether you need, after we talk about it, you may need an attorney. You may not be able to pay. So, I'm going to try and, find these resources that if you need to talk to a banker, we have some bankers that have done a really good job for us. They're presidents of banks. They're not necessarily looking to make you the loan, but they are willing to help you get, get an understanding before you move on, or go back or take that next step. So there are some, some really valuable components that you probably aren't going to find just on your own. So hopefully we're doing that.
Yeah. So with the boot camp, then are there? So you mentioned that participants come from a wide variety of backgrounds. How often do those run?
We do the boot camps twice a year. So, usually in the spring and in the fall. We do a for-profit one and a non-profit one. We also do a Spanish-speaking one, and it usually only happens once a year, but we're working on trying to make these things happen more often. The other thing that we have introduced is our business model canvas. So on a monthly basis, we are taking clients through, business owners through, it's a 3-week short course, meets Monday afternoons from 12 to 2. And we're basically walking through, the business model canvas. We're talking about cost structure, we're talking about revenue streams, we're talking about value propositions, your business relationships, your customer segments. I won't go through the whole thing, but we are going, we're going to go through that. You're going to work on it as you're working on your business with, in a small group with some other business owners. So it has turned out to be kind of a valuable tool for business owners.
Wonderful. And I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to add to that, or your vision of what you want FEC to do in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple differentiation pieces of the work that we do is, one is, it's really critical. We never charge for any of our services. So you may be thinking, oh, these all sound amazing. How much does it cost? How much do I have to pay? We have amazing supporters and funders that we never charge for our services, which is incredibly important for us, as it means access. So we don't want to create barriers to be able to access the services at the Financial Empowerment Center. So number one is we don't charge for our services. Another important kind of differentiation piece is our connection to our personal financial coaches. So we have our business services side, and we recommend that all of our business clients meet with a personal financial coach. And that has been tremendous in helping individuals improve credit scores, understanding their own personal finances, and it works really well together. So we have a lot of people that are working with Curtis from a business development growth stance, at the same time working with our personal financial coaches. And that team approach is really effective to be able to make huge progress and strides. So I think those two pieces really kind of help us stand out and differentiate from a number of resources that are available. And so we are continuing to look to expand. One of the areas of growth, and Curtis had mentioned, our Spanish boot camp. We have a new Spanish bilingual personal financial coach. So we're continuing to expand in a variety of languages, cultural competencies and understandings. And so this is kind of the next step in our growth, and also increasing capacity. So we want to be able to help more businesses and hold more workshops, and to be able to help more and more people. I guess the final thing, in addition to what Curtis had shared, is the business model canvas, the course. We have one kicking off next week already. So this is a great resource. Again, a course that's a shorter period of time. It's three weeks, one day a week. And so it's a good way to do a deep dive and get started for businesses. We have a kickoff a class already next week.
Right. So these classes are typically in the evening then, I take it?
We have some courses during the evening, some during the day. And so depends on the course and the time. They're currently all virtual as we're transitioning from the pandemic virtual experiences, and hopefully late summer, early fall, we'll be able to offer in-person and in-person programming where we'll have potentially evening courses, things like that. So we work closely with our businesses to figure out what days and times work well. So recognizing that there are some limitations and preferences. And so it's getting feedback and what works and what day and what time to make sure that it is at a time that's going to be best for the most people.
All right. So Curtis, as you're meeting with businesses, is it all currently online, or are you doing some face-to-face appointments as well?
We are just now starting to do some face-to-face. So we're back in the offices. So if you schedule an appointment with me on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, we are able to do those in the office at the Evelyn K. Davis Center. So Monday and Fridays will be virtual. We can still do phone at any time, any day of the week. We can do the virtuals from anywhere, of course. But as far as in person, we are kind of trickling back into the office. So and each month it gets a little bit more. So by August we'll be going full time. So that's kind of exciting,
Yeah, for sure. But do you think you'll continue to do some virtual camps?
I think we will, yes, because what we found is a lot of folks running their business, they may not have time to drive over and sit down and do either a session or even a class. So I'm going to try to handle that, make it as convenient for them as possible. So that's kind of a new twist, because of the pandemic. So I'm sure we thought about it before, but this way we were forced to look at it. I think everybody was forced to look at it. So I think it'll be a good thing.
Awesome. So can any of you share a success story or two of small businesses that have gone through your program? Anything you'd like to share in terms of that?
Well, yeah. Sorry, I'll take that. As far as success stories are, I would say I'll try to do it by example without I don't know if I should use their names or not since I didn't ask them. But I've had a client that was charging $15 an hour for her services. And when we met, we talked about it. We changed them to, I finally convinced her she was worth more than that. We changed it to $65 an hour, which I know it seems like a big jump, but for what she was doing, I think they were charging twice as much as, they're charging $120, $125 an hour. I did get her to go up to 65, and she started getting a ton of business. So, some of those things you don't realize, you think you're doing the right thing. But again, looking at your value proposition and your the value of what you're doing in comparison to somebody else. But just that increase gave her so much credibility. So she's busy and she's charging a lot more, which is great. So, because I don't want to sound crass, but we need people to make money. We really need them to be, if that's what they consider success. But either way, they've got to, generate revenue that's profitable. Otherwise, they're not going to keep doing it. I have had a client in the past that, they came in, they were making maybe $150,000 a year, husband and wife, and they were doing really well. But they had 5 businesses. After working with them, we eliminated 2 of those businesses that were losing money, but they were very close to their heart, So it was they finally decided that, what, we don't need to do that. And within a year and a half, well, a little over a year, they were making almost $900,000 because they were able to focus their energy on the other businesses, really one of those businesses, because I couldn't get them to move on the other 2. So because they were good businesses, it's just, you're physically not able to manage so much. So,
Right.
as a business owner, you really need to take advantage of what a CPA can do for you. What can having a manager on site do for you? Some of those things where if you're not prepared for it, you think you've got to work 24 hours a day to take care of that. I have a lot more, but we probably better. I'll throw it back to you.
I will also share, in addition to working with small business, Curtis works with nonprofit startups and individuals that are running nonprofits. And I will share a testimonial. Just talked to a nonprofit, an individual started a nonprofit, and she shared that she could not be where she was at, and she could not do what she's doing without Curtis's help. But truly, the work of the boot camps, working with Curtis, has been instrumental into getting her to where she's at, to getting her getting started, having the important process and structure in place to be where she's at, to be able to create that foundation to really grow and achieve what she wants to. So another testimonial in the work that Curtis and the team are doing with both small businesses and nonprofits.
That's wonderful. I actually took the nonprofit boot camp a couple years back, and even as someone with prior nonprofit experience, I think that the thinking through of the process and talking to people about what they're seeing and what they see of your business, I think was very useful. So
yeah, thank you, both of you. One, I will make a note that the business model canvas that we are presenting does work very well for nonprofits. So if there are nonprofits out there and they're thinking, well, you're talking about revenue streams and cost structure and all that, value proposition, it all fits for, for their nonprofit. So, you really, nonprofits need to figure out how their money comes and goes, and especially if you want to hire staff and keep them on staff, you can't wait for somebody to give you money to keep them. So it's a good learning tool, training tool, but also getting a big picture of what your business looks like.
perfect. So what is the best way for a business or an individual to reach out to you about the services?
It's our booking with Curtis and signing up for our boot camps and courses is very easy. So our website is www.empowermoney.org, and there's a book button, schedule an appointment. So www.empowermoney.org, schedule an appointment. You can click the type of appointment, the date, the time, and there you go. We make it incredibly easy. You select how your appointment is, in person or over the phone, and then we work with you. And Curtis would contact the individual, or we would schedule the boot camps and share information. So we make scheduling as easy as possible. They're, like I shared and like Curtis had shared, the appointments are either over the phone or in person at the Evelyn K. Davis Center at DMAC Urban, which is a convenient location with easy parking, which is also a win-win to make sure that it's not just easy to get to, but it's easy to park. So we have easily accessible programs and appointments.
Wonderful. And so for the boot camp and the business model canvas, do they also just go to the website to register then?
Absolutely. So empowermoney.org, and there's a sign up right there on the website.
Perfect. Thank you for letting us know and for sharing about your services. Any final things that you want to share, thoughts that small businesses can take away?
Well, we're excited to work, continue working and work with new businesses, and our coaches, and both our business coaches, personal financial coaches, come from a place of no judgment. And so meeting businesses where they're at and helping businesses to help achieve what success they define as success. So we are excited to continue to work with more organizations here in Central Iowa. So thank you for having us part of the conversation today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Curtis, for your time. Yes. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to Anna. Her email is on the screen, and you are also welcome to email Community CPA. I'm happy to pass along any questions you might have over. So thank you once again, Curtis and Anna. It was a pleasure, and we'll connect soon. And I will pass along any referrals that we think of that might benefit from your services.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have the Spanish webinar, but on Saturday, we'll have one in English. That is Ying's full hour webinar. So we will see you then. Take care, everyone.